There's a lot of noise in this weekend and last week about May the 25th and the how the public law of 63-43 is going to affect our stock market and our economy moving forward. What it is that basically the public law of 6343 was back in 1930, and it's established the Federal Reserve, and that's the framework under which Jerome Powell is working. And on May 15th, he's going to step down from the head of it to be just another one of the parties in it, and Trump's appointee will take over. And Trump's making a big deal out of it and basically saying it is going to change our economy. It is going to it is going to make money more available. He is also then going to make some acts in place to bring down the restrictions so that the U.S. can become the superpower that it used to be, and he can achieve his primary goal, and that is to be known as the best president that the United States has ever had. And he believes that this federal act and the change of the head of the Federal Reserve will accommodate all of his goals. So with that being said, I felt I needed to have a good understanding of it, and then a focus on how it's going to affect the stocks I have in my portfolio and some stocks that I don't have in my portfolio. So I gave it to Samantha and Bard, and they wrote me a 24-page document explaining exactly what was going to happen. And then I said, now put it into a podcast so it's in plain language so I can understand it, and my tribe members and I can understand it as well. And I thought, this is too important to keep just to my tribe members. I'm going to share it to anybody who wants to listen to it by putting a link into the description of this portfolio where you can send me your email address and I will send you a link to the podcast. So that two reasons. One, so that you can benefit from it and you can become a better investor, but also to introduce you to the quality of work that we're doing at Best of Us Investors, because we do this on every stock that we buy. We run a deep dive analysis, and then we run a podcast that tells you what the price of the stock is going to be in the future. So as a result of this, she gave me three scenarios of what the effects of this change could be, and it's all discussed in detail in the podcast, and so you'll learn that. What I wanted to also focus on, because I went and I said, okay, tell me also from an overall view, you don't have to get into the numbers, but from an overall view, Samantha, what companies are going to benefit most from this? Now, understand, she's going through and she's going to give me the companies that are going to benefit. What she isn't going to do is do an individual analysis of each one of them and tell me what the stock prices are going to be, because a company can benefit, but its stock price might not move because its multiple is already too high. Its PE ratio already has figured in the benefit, and therefore, even though it's a wonderful stock, the stock price isn't going to go up. That's what I will do individually this coming week, and then inform my tribe members. So the stock that she overwhelmingly says it's in the picks and shovels of the AI buildout, but it is insulated from anything that can stop it from growing substantially again in its revenues and its earnings. Not so much, we don't know yet, on the price of the stocks. And that's AMAT, Applied Materials. I don't own it. I haven't owned it because of what I was just saying. I thought it was overvalued in the future. But she's basically saying its fabs are built, its capacity is expanded, Its AI memory is tightening. It has the least amount of risk. It has the best export controls. It has good China exposure, and it has everything going in its right directions. So its number one pick was Applied Materials. Then it gave me another stock I don't own, which is LRCX, and a third one I don't own, KLAC. So what I'll do on those is analyze them as well as AMAT and get a projection of what the price is going to be over the next 3 years, and then I will share that with my tribe members. Now it also says those are the semiconductor equipment stocks, but also he said look at Vertiv and Eaton. I used to own Vertiv, and I thought it had gotten overvalued. I will analyze it again and share that with my tribe members. Eaton, I haven't. Eaton is a very large company. Vertiv kind of fell into the data center cooling systems, and so I know something about that. But Eaton has been around a long, long time, and it's kind of burdened with a lot of executives and Learjets and tall glass buildings and that. But I'll do an analysis of it, and I'll share that with my tribe members. But what I want you to know is this is important. And what drives the importance of it so dramatically is Donald Trump. He has an opportunity to change the board members or the structure of the Federal Reserve, which controls interest rates, which controls money flow. And Donald has one objective, actually he has two, but his primary objective is that you and I and everybody else, when his term is over, believe that he is the best president that the United States ever had. And this May 15th will put in his control probably the most important element to make that happen. Now, his other very primary objective is to make himself and his family money. And he's got his two boys out working real hard on that. So I wanted to share that with you. And again, go into the description because I want you to listen to the podcast that Samantha and Bart do and ask yourself the question, can you move forward investing in the stock market without exposure to this kind of information on a daily basis? Know what you own, know why you own it, and where it's going in the future, and then have access to that same quality of information every quarter when the stocks you own and some that you don't have their earnings report so that you can make good investment decisions. I honestly do not, I think if you don't do that, you're a fool for investing in the stock market. Yeah, I mean, when they come on CNBC, they're selling their book. They're telling you to buy what they own. When they come on YouTube, and they're taking the information that they are able to absorb and giving it to you. That's one person. Samantha gives you all the knowledge in the world on that specific stock. And there is more data on individual stocks that are sold on the New York and the NASDAQ Stock Exchange than any other commodity in the world. Because these people have to report every quarter everything they did and everything they're planning to do. And in the interim, if any of the executives buy, sell, or borrow more money relative to the stocks, it has to be reported. So the data is there. And it is, if you know how to analyze it and interpret it, you know what the price of the stock's going to be in the future, and you get the opportunity to upgrade that knowledge every 90 days or every time they file something with the authorities. So if you aren't growing your portfolio by 2 times every 3 years, it's your fault. It's no one else's fault. It's yours, because you're not taking advantage of the knowledge that's available. Go to the description, listen to the interpretation of the May 15th situation, and then you make a decision whether you want to be rich or not. It's totally your decision.